first open house. The principal, Brian Quinlan, and Miss Lopez, Miss Trinidad Lopez, is our wonderful esteemed assistant principal. You might have known Mr. Schulte last year. Mr. Schulte has moved on to Mitchell Elementary in his continued career path, and so we're really excited for Mr. Schulte that he found that opportunity that fit for him. And so Miss Lopez and I are now the assistant and principal team. So with all that said, we met with, over the summer, we met with the president of each of the parent organizations and all the LSC member parent representatives. We asked them about what they wanted to see for a schedule. And we heard actually what worked out very well, and surprisingly, was the district also reported what they heard from their surveys and town halls. And that was that parents liked the idea of like on, off, to minimize screen time, to make sure that kids had clean directions and then had time to work on it, and to also make sure that there was a lot of place for questions. And so that's how we built our schedule. And it actually worked out because the district told us we had to build our schedule that way. So we built the schedule the way that the district told us, but it was luckily the same feedback that we were hearing from parents. I'm gonna break into a little bit about what these schedules mean and when the district created this time of synchronous and asynchronous, what exactly they meant by that. So on this next slide, what you're gonna see is a breakdown of synchronous, meaning together, in sync, all of us are together, and async time. Synchronous means that the teacher and all the kids are doing the same thing. It's like a live instruction. There might be some times where the teacher sends out some breakout rooms, but we're all doing the same thing at the exact same time. Async is something that actually Monroe has kind of been moving forward anyway with our personalized learning cohort, which is that kids really are independent levels. They really should be doing different things. So async is really that time to build out that differentiated work. So synchronous is when they get the whole group instruction. We all are learning the content together. Hopefully the teacher is talking, but also the kids are talking, and the kids are delivering that content to one another. And then async is that time for the kid to start independently work. And hopefully that kid, as we move further into this personalized learning journey, or also this remote learning journey, the kid should be working on different things than the other kids. And so it's async because we're not all doing the same thing. The teachers will be pulling kids during this async time so that a lot of kids are turning their computers off, which is great. They're turning their cameras off, they're turning their microphone off, and they're doing some independent work. And then some of the kids are meanwhile pulled over to a small group work with a teacher. And this is a balanced literacy model that our school has always used, but we're also using now. So that's a little bit of synchronous and asynchronous. And the bullet point about the big on the top was there is that all the homework for our school day now should be done during the school day. So we want to really reiterate that any homework that is being sent home, there's plenty of time to do that all during the school day. And so we've also been level setting teachers with us as we all kind of get used to this. It's been difficult at first because we've had so many directions. There's just so much showing kids of clicking of links that it's spent a lot of time and it's made us run over. But we really want to move to a model where that everything that needs to be done should be done between the hours of 8:15 to 3:15. So synchronous, again, is that time where they're receiving directions for what's due today. They're working with the teacher and students. And async is that time for when they're working off the computer with some non-screen time. They might be on the computer, but a lot of them are going to be off the computer. They're getting extra help in a small group setting. They're called into conferences. They're reading independently with a purpose. That's something we really like to drive at Monroe, that a kid should be reading with a purpose. We don't want to just like have free reading. We want them to have reading with like, what are you going to explore while you're reading? Free reading is great for at home and homework. Excuse me, not homework, but at home. But like in a classroom when they're reading, there should be a reason for what they're reading, looking for, what they're searching for, what they're doing. Maybe they're reporting later to a teacher in a conference. Maybe they're doing a book talk to some of their other classmates. Maybe they're understanding characterization, something like that. Lexia and Dreambox are two premier products that we'll talk a bit more about later, but Lexia Reading and Dreambox Math are two subscriptions that that Monroe pays for every Monroe student for pre-K to 8. So if you haven't already received Lexia and Dreambox passcodes, you can from your teacher. We also are streamlining those into a system. We're working with another company called Clever, so that when a kid goes into clever.com, it will pull up his or her RAS kids for reading if they're a younger kid, and then all of their Dreambox Math and all of their Lexia reading, so that all of their accounts are in one place. These programs are really great programs to teach content and practice, and they differentiate to exactly what your child needs. Those are both really premier products that Monroe is happy to pay for every child at Monroe. A little bit about grading. Grading is that we are grading as we were pre-pandemic. So this isn't like last year. The grading counts. And like the years before, the grading should be based on standards mastery, like whether or not the kid is learning, not on like participation or attendance or kind of busy work or completion. We want the grades to be really driving the work, so we see how our students are performing. We're proud because at Monroe our on-track rates and our grading has increased so much in the past few years, which is very on track with the district. And I want to continue that growth because that growth should demonstrate that a kid's learning more. That's exactly what we want. Grades are really important to us. They're a great predictor of student success, and we really want to make sure all of our children are getting those great grades and working for it. If you ever want to monitor your child's grade, we highly encourage that. And so you can set up a parent portal account. Parent portal is a district product through Aspen. And Aspen can send you text messages, but you probably are so sick of tech right now, that's the last thing you want. But if you do want text messages or emails or to log in, you'll be able to get all those alerts for your child's attendance and grades. The nice thing about Parent Portal or Aspen is that once you have it forever. So it'll follow you from pre-K all the way up to high school. It's all the same product through CPS. You can go to some of the links, well, it's over now, but if you ever need help with that, you can call our main office and we can get you set up with an Aspen Parent Portal account. Also, if you go to our webpage, there's a new little arrow on the side that says Remote Learning Tech Help, and you can click on that and it gives you some nice directions and videos on how to access Parent Portal and set up that account. On our next slide, you're gonna see some of the ways that we wanna help parents because this is really, really hard. It's really, really, really hard. So we know that like if you want any lunch or meals, we are providing meals. We've just extended our meal times. Pickup will now start at 7:30 a.m. for meals. You can pick up packs of 3 at once. That includes for tech. If you ever need to switch out a tech device, we have plenty of technology. Come on by. We can swap those out, 8:15 to 3:15. Internet is slow. A lot of times that's happening across our city, hopefully by walking closer to the modem, but also emailing our counselor for help. Money is tight across our country and our city right now in Monroe, and so we understand that. We want to be here for you. So until further notice, Monroe is not collecting any student fees this year, nor are we doing any fundraising. And additionally, we do have an on-staff Illinois benefits coordinator, Miss Cassandra Cruz. So if you think there's a good chance you might be entitled to benefits through the state of Illinois that you might not even know you're able to get. So that's a great person to email. She's still working with us full time. Need parent workshops. We've expanded out our parent workshops a lot. You'll see 3 upcoming dates through our new partner, Metropolitan Family Services. And additionally, if you stay posted to social media, you'll see upcoming elections and upcoming events. Friends of Monroe is running a yoga event on our turf next Thursday, I believe, at 6:30 p.m. So that'll be another way to connect with families. But families aren't the only people who need to connect. Kids need to connect. And so speaking of socialization, we are starting a virtual after-school program on October 12th. And we hope that we can start in-person after school at the semester February 8th. But as of right now, virtual after school starts on the 12th. We also are creating an optional recess. We're piloting it in grades 3 to 5. If your child does want to socialize with friends, with one of our recess staff members, Miss Coach Cassidy, she'll be facilitating a social discussion between kids during that lunch hour, so they just have an outlet. And then if you do need tech help, we're here every day. And as you know, you've been emailing your parents and your friends and us and coming in and seeing us, and all of those are great. You're right on. We are here for you, whatever you need for that tech help. We also do have that website aforementioned on our website. Webpage aforementioned on our homepage. So we're really excited that we've been able to get 724 out of 726 registered and signed into Google at Monroe Elementary. It speaks to our collective effort. And so big shout out to all of our parents and our teachers hustling for these kids. Thank you. Attendance does still matter, that it's a full day. If you're here 51%, it's a full day. If you're here less than that, it is a half day worth of attendance, and we're particularly focused on those synchronous minutes. And so the teachers go in and they update that, and that includes for tardies as well. To kind of keep that excitement going, you might have seen that we're offering bikes starting October 8th. So anybody who has great attendance will be in some raffles for some bikes on October 8th. One of the things that's kind of weird this year is that we can't accept excuse notes anymore. So if you do have an excused absence, you'll need to call the office or send a note in person to the school. We cannot accept email or text notes for excused absences. So if you do want an absence excused because it's a doctor's appointment or some other, a sickness, or then you would go through and you would submit a doctor's note, an excuse note through those processes. Last up, speaking of forms and compliance, lunch forms. We need them. So 350 people. Families have been chosen in K-8 to complete a family income information form, a fifth for the lunch form. Lunch forms are really, really important. They're what determine our school funding. They're what determine at even greater scale the funding that the district receives and even the state. So these lunch forms are incredibly important because they get us the resourcing that we need for our children. We also need to maintain compliance with federal mandates of these. So it's really important that you turn in your lunch forms. We're going to do that in minimally 3 ways, which are bulleted for you. You'll be receiving them if you're one of those 350. You'll be receiving it in email. You'll also be receiving it in post with a postmarked stamp, pre-postmarked, whatever that means, an envelope with another stamp on it. So you'll open up your envelope and then there'll be another envelope with a stamp. I don't know how to say that. Back holidays and stuff used to do that when those were a thing. And then we'll have some other ways too to get those, but we're going to start with those 3 to try to get as many back as we can. There is a great program, which is called our Parent Mentor Program. And that's run through Logan Square Neighborhood Association. So if you would like to become a parent mentor, so you are a parent who wants to give back to their community, you want to move forward and really be empowered, then I encourage you to sign up for our Parent Mentor Program with the contact information there, including our coordinator, Gabby Barajas, at lsna.net to be engaged in doing some it's pretty exciting. They're going to be doing some home visits this year and some in-person instruction. Not with remote, they won't be like sitting with your kid during remote learning the whole time. I know I would love that too for my kid, but they'll be doing some check-ins with your kid throughout the week. If you're interested in being a parent mentor to do those things, sign up. And those parent mentors will be distributed throughout our classrooms on an as-needs basis. That summarizes a little bit of too much talking at you, but if anybody had any questions, I would love to take any questions. Oh, so shy. Yeah, Miss Chrisman, go for it.
I'm sorry.
Spence. Yeah, we can hear you.
Me?
Yeah.